Yay,
there is
Viper.
definitely a bit
Crazy
of a
guys
read
on
here for Bleed.
Sova.
Ooh, and we have Yay over on the
Oh,
Viper
no.
this time around. So
Sova the
it seems as
solo
though, like,
initiator,
he is
no
flexing. He's
flash.
probably saving that, chamber pick for maybe a little later.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but the other thing is it's a very defensive composition. You got the Cypher and the Viper and the Omen.
Yeah, I mean, very
Yeah,
defensive
double
on the side of
controller.
Global. They are, bringing that
I mean,
Gecko
for
into the
sure.
fold, so it's not gonna be
Wait,
the
we have
KO
no
here for Russ,
Sentinel
which
on...
I think actually this would have been
We
the
have
one.
no...
They're
Oh,
playing for the
chat,
KO,
I'm
could've had the
losing
most
my
value.
mind.
But
No,
they
no
also don't
Sentinel
have
on
that-
Sunset?
They don't have that Cypher to really try and disrupt the potential flanks that can be coming through, so it's
They're gonna
again
have a
Global
rough time.
straying away from something that's a little bit more common
someone
this
has to
time,
perma
and they
hold mid.
execute on it.
Yeah, I feel like, if they're going to play it this way, then they have to do something similar to Paper Rex where they just go in full force, right? Never mind the backline. If you just keep on going forward, you don't have a backline to worry about. But this doesn't seem like the composition to do it.
Yeah, not the composition nor the players to do it as well. And
Yeah.
I gotta imagine they're gonna
Fade.
go
Yeah,
similar to
it might
how they
actually
played
work
at,
okay.
Convergence,
Fade
where
holds
they're going to
Palmer
take
mid, and then
space by
most of the
space and then
util
go
in
for
terms of
an
the
execute,
eye
but
can
now
just
you've got all
be
this defensive
dumped
setup
over towards
plus
A.
Crazy Guy with
Might
those
actually be
timed
fine.
recons that could
Let's see how
really
they
ruin
let's see how they do it.
Well, we're
I
gonna
want to see
find
if
out
Bleed
indeed
kind
who
of punish
pulls
it,
through.
maybe
It's
on
gonna
a
be Bleed
on
Esports
their
versus
defense as well by
Global
going
Esports
aggro.
as we step into Sunset. We're gonna toss it on over to your casters, Quack and Aserai.
Yeah,
Thank you so
we'll keep
much
an eye
for
out.
that
We'll see how
one,
they
Des, and
see how
we
they cover
are
up.
here.
It is not the Sunset's pretty open at the moment.
Global
See,
Esports
no duelist, no
versus
sentinel.
Bleed. Both of them really
And
struggled in the previous
a lot of stuff
series
seems to be
that
working.
they have played, and
They at
there's
least
still
have the
talk
Viper
of
as well.
Povey being amazing here for Global. He
Okay,
really
Bleed
needs to
on
step up
defense,
for
GE
Bleed
on
as
attack.
well.
Let's see how
Durian and
aggro.
Ye, who really is going to be the front man for Bleed.
Let's see
We'll
how
have to
aggro
as this series is about to start.
I mean, it's going to be a
we get
tough
with
one
it.
to say the least, right, Asarai? Yay is just straight up flexing for Bleed, and I
Yeah,
don't
he
know
is
that's,
flexing.
where his talents will
The
shine
Yay
the most, but I
Viper.
guess we shall
I
see,
never thought
because
I'd
he
see the
has
day.
shown that he can perform. His fundamentals are just that strong. Meanwhile, for Global
Insta
Esports,
push over
Polvi
towards here.
just
The
starts
Omen
things
flash
off.
missed,
Yeah,
but
that door
Polvi just wins
closes,
the
but
straight up
opportunity
duel.
for Polvi does not. It's going to give a lot of control right now for Global as they can choose whether they want to keep pressing their advantage on mid or just hunker all the way back onto that A site, even though all the traps for Egoist
Honestly though, if I was forced to say
is
what comp I
positioned
prefer,
there.
I probably do prefer GE's
GE
comp.
still
Just
have
because
the numbers advantage,
this
as well as,
Sova
of
has to
course,
do a lot.
Russ with the wingman to trigger a couple of those and allow them to clear things up even easier.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the loss of Scary right now. You've got those traps, sure. Crazy Guy might be able to rotate over, but they need more reinforcements. And right now, just without the information towards B, it's always a little bit scary. And that's
But
why
why
the
sign
lead
Ye
in
if you're
Darien
gonna just
still
use him on
around
Sky and
market.
Viper?
But
That's
as
my
Global starts to
theory
move
as well.
closer, elbow,
Like if
they
you're gonna
might just be
sign
able to break
Ye
things open.
and Chambers
Always
like
has that camera
at least
up.
viable on the
Open
map, you're
24/7
using it,
here.
in my opinion.
Nades being thrown out
Otherwise,
already.
I
There's
would
the
just get
wingman.
someone else.
Easy Plat's not even going to be a cancel, deny, or anything. Blaze King does get the kill onto
It's a
Crazy
lovely
Guy
kill
as
through
well.
the smoke.
This is a great start here for Global Esports. Players of Bleed stuck at the back of that A site. That spike is planted right at the precipice of those traps, and Global don't even have to commit into the site itself. They can just stay all day long here on elbow as the rest of Bleed now start to move right in.
They chillin'. Bleed has to go in for that defuse, and as soon as they stick, the spray comes in. And it's just
Nicely done from
post-plant
Benkai.
delays for days.
Ooh, lots of efforts here for both Egoist and Durian. Durian somehow making it work, but time not his
Lovely
friend.
pistol from them.
It
Nicely
shall
done.
be his enemy, and shall
Definitely
be
Polvi as
his
well.
team's demise.
Just won the straight up
First
duel over
round,
towards here, even though the Omen flash didn't connect.
Not
And I
to
like
what
the
we
fact that they
expected at
cancelled.
all. I mean, everyone
I'm
kind
pretty
of
sure
thought
they
Bleed would
cancelled
have
on
a
their
stronger
original
start.
idea as well.
But Global
So,
definitely shows that they have
that was nice
surprises
calling.
in store for us. Polvi is an incredible duelist, and he just waltzed right up the door. Able to take that duel against Scary, and then the rotation through to A. I mean, after losing Scary, Bleed instantly just, shrunk down a little bit. None of them were able to defend the site, and, we watched the whole thing play out. It was just Wingman doing everything.
Yeah, especially the part where they lost so much mid control and Bleed never really recontacted it, so they couldn't really figure out where Global was planning to push. It was more of a wait for the stimuli and then react, and that doesn't work when you're up against a team like Global that really likes to take the advantage, especially with a composition that has no sentinels, so you really know that they're going to be banking on the pushes every time they actually make for that contact.
Precisely. So, of course, while this is just a bit of a save round for Bleed, how much can they really pull off? That is
Durian.
the question.
mean, this is the reason why they still mix up, right, between Ye and Durian, because
I'm a little
when
bit
Ye
scared with
joined
this guy.
League,
Yeah,
you still know that Durian has that,
we're giving him a lot
that
of
star power.
jewels, and the passing to go through the
shows us a
choke
glimpse of
point
it.
has died.
He definitely carries that zombie pride with him.
Okay, 40
but,
seconds on this
The
one.
what?
Zombie
And they at least
is
knew there
what
was
he
mid
playing
pressure
under.
earlier when the Prowler
This
hit.
weird new name when they were trying to keep it under wraps. But anyway,
Ah, didn't
it's
know that.
definitely something that you want to respect. Because Darien is not someone that you want to underestimate.
True.
But that said, it's just one pick, and while they are moving forward into the A side, it's trampling, it's a lot of noises. Bleed are, well, not quite able to fight back.
Yeah.
Not bad
Again,
as
it's
well.
just
And I wonder if Ross
Global
is gonna
Esports
like.
turning into this
Not saying he's gonna hunt
balled
instantly, but I'm so
fist
fine
that
for him
will
to go a bit
just
aggro.
punch their way into
Yeah,
the
so
site.
he is with that
Egoist,
death. He is one away.
He's got a lot of utility to work with here. Even the safety to pick up that
He maybe
Spectre as well.
went a bit for it.
Two
Maybe he
versus
went for this a
one.
little bit too early, but
He's unaware that the players of Global have just
they definitely have some
doubled up
options
here
to try
on
snowball
Elbow,
him.
as we can see. So he'll just take his sweet time. I don't know if him cooking like this is going to allow him to win the round, but maybe make it expensive is the way to go. Fortunately, Blaze King
Okay, not bad
bit
at
too
all.
quick, a bit too
Should be pretty
a step
happy with the
forward,
damage
step
done.
earlier. That's gonna be
Good news for
2
GE,
rounds
like I
right now for
said,
Global.
is one away
It
from the
does feel
fish ult
like a
here,
little
so
bit expensive
most
enough
common
for the
idea will
time
be going
being,
over
as
towards
Russ
B,
and
so
Volby
maybe we see some
might
kind of
have
punish
to
from
go
Bleed.
for
So could see
some
the
slightly
Cypher start
smaller
over
weapons
towards
for
A.
this round, small arms. But Bleed, on the other hand, are starting to get a good idea for this Global Esports playstyle, right? I mean, they've tried to make a little noise
GE
towards
going
B
over
or
towards
mid,
B main,
and
want to
then
get
just,
this orb,
you know, when they
and
have
it
more
looks
space,
like
rush over towards A. That's why this
Darion
round
wants
we've
to
seen
try
that
punish
Viper's,
this, so that's good at
toxic
least.
screen from Ye being relegated towards A instead.
Colby's in trouble. Can he get out of harm's way, though? He's alone on an island. He's already brought out his classic because he was just losing so much ammunition as
Was
well
the
as
plan...
HP as he
But
pushes
why did we
through.
go...
He wanted to get that pinch so that his teammates could
Bit
push
weird.
over the B main.
Okay,
When
so
that
I think they
fails,
didn't want the
Global
orb,
Esports now left
I
scratching their heads,
guess.
hoping that maybe their
Again,
other
they're just
lurker,
waiting to use it
Medkai,
next
is gonna
round.
find some contact
They
and
just
success
treated this
here
as
on
a
top
full
mid.
bonus, and then when it's the big buy rounds,
Okay, that
damn. And then when it's the big
That's
buy
a
round, they're
little
going to
bit
try and use
wishful
this
thinking,
ult, because
you know?
otherwise we wouldn't have gone as
Watch
fast
this.
here.
Over the
We went like
No,
way...
no way he
Oh, nice.
survives.
Went like way
He
too
did it.
fast.
I mean, no shot connected from Russ, but that mosh pit was enough.
And he's got Thrasher available now, but you know, still a lot of players to work through.
I think I can jump over this, but I mean, Scary's prepared to hear the shot. They're here to jump and punish the transition. There it is.
Last player standing.
And there it is.
Again, it's just Bleed adapting to these changes. I mean, the calling on this side from Crazy Guy, as soon as they feel
Yay
the
on
pressure
Viper.
towards A,
Now
they
that's
start
something you
changing
don't
things
see
up.
every day.
Global hasn't
He's
quite,
not wrong.
you know, put one step ahead of that. So they instantly knew how to feel.
Is that trip
how to
useful? I
feel
mean, yeah,
ready
you get
for
the sound cue.
however
The problem
Volby
with
might push,
Cypher is
and
there's
that's
no
what we saw
info trip
exactly
over
towards
towards
market.
middle,
Again, leaving Volby to push
apart from like the ones
by
in the
himself.
choke points, right? So
I kind of get
the
is
normal
what he
height one
does best,
can only be like
right?
a certain range,
But
so a lot of
in
the time
Sunset,
it just gets
where
spammed towards
there's so
middle.
many angles,
Like
there's so
most
many traps
teams,
that
when
can
they see a
really
Cypher, should at least be
thwart that
firing
kind
like
of
full bullets
approach.
to the normal
We
trip
need some
spot
backup from
once they're at
teammates,
bottom
right?
and middle. So the one on the
Anyways,
floor
Russ,
kind of does the same
IGL,
thing, and at least someone can hear
down to the
the
dumps for the
sound
moment.
if we're close.
That's going to be Bleed with a point on the board.
Thank you.
So 1-2 right now. The adaptation's coming in.
All right,
Bears in mind.
1-2 armor
wondering
rebuy,
how
1 gun
Global
rebuy,
Esports might
and
change
Russ
things
has
up.
his ult.
Like you
So
mentioned before, you know,
big round for
leave
them.
Colby to push on his own.
Want to
That
see
might
a
be
good
what he's
plan
good
around
at,
the
but
ult.
at the
Darion
same
might
time,
send it with his Razor.
what
Wait,
works
replay
well
man did
against,
him
you know, a
die.
team like Bleed is strength in
Re-
numbers, because
showed
Bleed
the,
can
showed the
often
Omen
plays
TP
with such
again.
strong teamwork, having that coaching
I was trying to
and
stay
that
silent on
leadership
it, but
from
it's fine.
Lakia. This is what they are known to do.
Yeah. 100% agree. It feels like Bleed
Okay, 1, 2, 3 people that can't buy next round
know,
for GE. One
is
person
so
from
fluid
Bleed.
with how they move
Official, like we said.
that it feels like they're never really stopped at one point, right? Like when you pick up one player from them, they always have this backup plan.
Okay, see,
They
prime
start
example, right? Tripwire was here,
around.
over towards middle.
In any case,
They
Global Esports
just shoot at the normal
they mix
area
things
of where
up,
it
though.
should
They
be.
put Colby
Insta
by
trip
himself on
broken
B
within the
main,
first
while
like
the
10
rest of his
seconds. So that's why he
teammates
put it at the bottom,
start
but then he
moving
tried to
up
do one
onto
that was at the
mid
top.
here, which could actually be pretty good.
But at
'cause
least
there's
we
no
got to see the
traps right
example
now.
of what I was saying.
Durian might be
And
a
that's a
few
good
seconds
good sign
late.
from G
He's now
that
here to
they're just
resist the
shooting this
contact,
early.
but that smoke separates the rest
And
of
that
the full B
is
spots
an
out. Crazy Guy
opportunity.
cannot finalize the kill though. So that might be an opportunity missed.
Good
to
pressure at
actually
least
get the
created.
numbers
There's
into
that.
favor of Global.
Yeah. Did pull a little bit of attention away. But
Just goes
unfortunately,
in,
this
clears
moment, not
everyone
quite
close,
enough.
and we
50
can
seconds left, so
just
they
pick this
still
one
have
back up.
some options. But the Thrasher being spent now is just a bit of info. If anything, a bit of a tell for Bleed to actually reinforce the A
Does
side.
he send it
Darian
with the
is here
Razor?
with the showstopper
We got an
available.
Omen flash.
30 seconds. He's
This
getting
is Razor.
mighty close to
We have no
first
idea where there's a
contact
guy on
right
the
now.
left.
He's not going to be unaware of Blaze King. That might be a big mishap in Bleed's decision making. And immediately Global Esports, you see them opening up the site. That's what they were looking for.
Okay,
All
not too
down
bad.
to Egoist. Global's calls
Man.
pretty damn solid
And this
here,
is one of
Quack.
the issues with Bleed's
Again,
comp
like I mentioned,
again. Like the
Egoist
server has to find out
forced
so
to
much
save the weapon
info.
for
So
the
when they
moment.
want to try and
wouldn't be
like
surprised
clear
if
the
Global
question
starts
marks
to
to
call
see if they
timeout
have
pretty soon.
rotated, to see if they can
For
get
now,
the stack
Global
over towards the
Esports
other
definitely
sites, they're having to
throwing
do
things
it
to the
with
plans for
bodies. And this time it was the
Bleed,
body of the
knowing
person
how
that had the
to
most important ult.
pull the attention away. Have Polvi to
Overall though,
come
nice
up
round
on a
from
flank
GE.
of
Even though we
all
missed the
things.
shot over towards B,
And
the
then at
pressure was
same
made
time,
as
just
well.
the pushes coming out
And
from Russ.
then, yeah, just
Benkai
wall up,
lightning
Fish
fast.
clears all of this
They
close.
have shown
Get
that they are
close, hold.
capable, and with the
And
way
then
they're
the X-Sec
taking
looked
this
pretty good
A
as well.
site again and again. Bleed struggling to adapt. Egoist, he hasn't really, felt all too much currently.
Yeah.
Why
guess
is
this
double
the
controller
polar
necessary in Sunset? It's not
Of
necessary.
what you can do in Sunset, right?
There's like two
Rather than relying
main
on your
variations at the
duelist
moment:
to
double controller,
enter,
double
enter the
initiator.
site for you.
They're
You can
both
slow push
they're
it
both good.
because of the corners, because the corners are made to be able to be pushed slowly like this.
30 seconds left.
Granted, of course, there are some over pushes that we've seen here for Bleed, but Global Esports, they've been pretty,
Let's go.
what's the word here? They've been pretty slow and methodical at being able to slowly get control of the sites that they're taking. They're not just rambunctiously pushing up into
Okay.
A and
As we can see,
haphazardly
money's
taking
in the
it. They're
absolute
making
bin
sure that every
after
single
this if they
corner
don't win.
is scrubbed clean and easy for their
Like I
team.
said, one away from Blaze
Yeah, for real,
King's
that's
ult.
exactly
So
what,
the B main default makes a lot of
Bleed
sense here.
does.
Boombot to clear.
Both teams
And I
really
think that's
taking
the
things
good
slow
Boombot
and
as
steady
well
for
that
now,
clears the back.
in contrast to the game that we
Did
just
the Raze
saw
just
on the
pick that
same
up?
map.
Instead of the Fade? Did they mess up?
But that's also because this is an elimination match.
Andreas with
tension,
the
the
Prime,
stress
thank
is
you.
felt.
Thank you so much. Okay, no.
Nightfall
Okay, we
executions
stopped it
coming
towards the
through.
end.
If they're
Okay,
doesn't get
almost.
any HP deduction
Yeah, I
from
think
that
maybe he was
Nightfall,
just baiting this one
yeah,
out.
they can't push.
Ult goes
because
in,
They
and
already know he's there.
we don't
he has a double
actually
satchel and the showstopper.
send it
so
with it. We
unless
do get
they wait
info.
for this,
I think it hit
unless they
2.
want to push into the site with a smoke that blots out their vision, this is going to be a big risk for Global here. But they have time right now.
Yeah, it's
Quack.
interesting. Just a Nightfall. Put Polvi up in this position. Meanwhile, Russ calls for the rotations back over onto A site. They did this in the previous
Only
round.
hit
Let's
one?
see if
Oh,
Bleak
okay,
can
my
get a
bad.
good read on it. You've got Ye, who's kind of defending A with his life. You got Scary watching mid and able to rotate back, pivot towards
Okay, and the late group up.
A lane.
Late group up over
Whether
towards
or not it's going to be enough is the other thing.
A.
Oh,
They
this
just
is
shot a
why
recon over
retake game
towards
for Bleed at
middle.
this point.
So as soon as the
Tripwire there
smokes
as
come
well,
in,
like,
the
if
heavy
anybody pushes
rotate comes
that,
in as well. So
is-
there's a small window for
should be an
GE.
easy
There is a
kill
kill
here for
trip over
Scary.
towards short.
Ye is
Gets
by
broken
himself.
by
He's already
Polvi.
activated both of his
Man, okay,
snake
respect.
bites right now.
Scary
So
just.
he
I mean, he
can't
got them
really push
the
up
assist
without
there.
any
Maybe he
smoke
did get
coverage,
shot
so
by
he has
it.
to back
Wow.
away and just wait for his teammate to go with him. Now it's going to be a straight up
Ooh.
firefight here. In the
Dude,
back of
we
the site,
won
and it
3
hasn't really
duels.
panned out well for Bleed, excuse me. Now Global is going to be left, or excuse me, Bleed is going to be left with Scary and Egoist. Scary is already at the site,
Gotta be a
but
save.
can't really push. Egoist now.
That was
Are they
huge.
just, it looks like they want to fight for this. They're not going to save at all. They don't want to risk any more of the rounds. Paranoia activated here. Maybe try to brute force their way against a team that loves, knows, is
All right.
the
1, 2, 3,
definite
4.
meaning of brute force. And that's going to be Global with 4 rounds in this first game.
Yeah, not quite able to do all too much. You could see that that was clearly Bleed's
Yeah,
game plan. You know,
and
you mentioned
The
that
good,
tripwire
the good
has
thing
to
for
ride,
GE here as
Scary
well
did
is
get the
that
one
they get
frag
so
onto
much money
Polvi,
for this.
but that was
They've only
it.
got to buy 1
They
armor,
wanted to make
1
use of the
gun.
numbers advantage to come in with a
I mean, they
retake
probably
with
need to
Trays
time
and
out
also
soon,
Darian's
Bleeds.
showstopper.
He's getting
But
a
as
little
soon
bit out
as
of
they
control.
planted their foot onto A alley, you got this firefight from Global Esports, who knew exactly how to block them off to prevent that retake from even happening. Very nice anticipated play coming out from Global Esports.
One hero gun
Absolutely.
for Bleed.
And Bleed here. I did mention how very free-flowing they are and how quickly it seems like they have layers upon layers of plans, but it's definitely not now. We're not feeling scary anymore.
Okay, we
as
decide to
that,
go fast with this. Might have missed the
Clutch
original
King.
one.
That haunt is
And that haunt
absolutely
is...
phenomenal from
Yeah,
Blaze
that
King.
was
Exposes
good
the
exec.
entirety of that A site, makes it easy
Where does
for
the horn go?
Boldy
Here.
to find the first pick. His teammate
was
gets
cool.
another, and you already know it's a secured A site. Firepower is definitely in the
I would
hands
like
of
to see
Global here.
Polvi just pull back full stop
The
and
only
just
thing I'm
for
looking
someone
at
else to
that could
potentially
give a
take
chance
some
for
of
Bleed
the
is
jewels here,
if
just so that
Global
they have
oversteps
some
their
ults
bounds,
online
but
for the
even
next
then,
big
they
round.
so much firepower.
Bleeds, maybe don't even want to try and give him anything
Global
here.
Esports very much in the driver's seat right now. Almost makes you question if Bleed looks really uncomfortable on Sunset.
This is good ult to
I mean,
farm.
clearly they have the composition for it, and in this round, at the very least, it is, you know, just an eco.
Out of charge.
But Global
Player
are
standing.
decisively
Perfect passing to get the free kills there
breaking
as well.
into sights. Blaze King at the end too.
On their way
Through
to
the wall
a
as well.
second fatal.
No windows, only the wall.
Another big
Very
buy round for
impressive
Bleed.
stuff.
No
Now
timeout
Colby
yet.
has the showstopper too.
And they get an op out.
And it's scary to think that this is turning into what looks like a one-sided first map. You're talking about how looks like
the-
Bleed just looks absolutely out of their element.
11
and it
to
goes
1.
show, and I don't think we've seen any kind of
The op
timeouts
comes
here
out.
from Legia. I think this has been an
Raise
issue with
over
the Bleed in
towards
the past
B.
when
We
they
switch
start
to
to
Cypher
lose,
towards A.
you know, contact or
And they go for the exact same strat, just with the ult this time.
Polvi rips one out. Is he gonna find Egoist? That's gonna be huge. If he does,
Wait, how's this guy
Egoist
alive?
survives. No way, it clips.
Damn, he gets
It
another one.
clips the stairs here, Quack. And that allows him to break through the traps right
Gotta
there.
shout out the
Like
Omen
that,
flash here.
quick
It was really
enough,
good.
And this leaves Rush, the IGL, once again by himself in a position
Okay,
where he might as
he
well just
tanks
fall down,
the
which he
Raze ult
does.
to 63
Global
and then cleans up
Esports
3 more.
gets
Definite shout out to the Omen
obliterated
flash. It was
here
pretty
by
much the
Bleed.
reason that this round didn't
Might have
fall
been a
apart.
bit
So
of,
Scary gets a huge assist for
I don't
that.
know, man. A misplay from the Rocket, or just unlucky. But
Yeah, it just went too
whatever
low,
it
right,
is,
the ult.
It favors Egoist so darn much. I mean, this guy who, you know, used to play on SMG, now back onto this team, showing exactly what he's capable of. This is why they put him on that Sentinel role, because he can anchor.
He creates those tempo plays by himself.
Big round for Bleeds. They don't want to
What a
have the
mistake
reset
from
in terms of
opponent.
1,900
Unravels
loss
the rest of that
bonus.
offense. This is a
G's money's
given thing
crazy
here for
good.
Bleed because it gives enough for Durion to also
Lovely
pick up the
pick.
operator, which is tremendous. No one else was pushing that B main, so it's a free pick for Durion, and he can just choose to get back. And because of that, as he spots no one as well, that coaxed the rest of Bleed to start getting some information here on mid. Crazy Guy activates the drone, spots out Polvi. Now they're aware Global is coming here on top mid.
And they're very much so ready to receive it too.
Oh.
Ovi. It's an
Omen,
off versus
poor
off,
Omen.
But Darion's
But that
got
gives the cue that the other two have
angle,
owned
takes
it.
down Lightning
So,
fast, and as it happens,
they
Crazy
owned
Guy
it.
comes back in around just to check.
Yikes.
Yeah, he was ready for that.
Polvi's on an operator, so you can't really
Spike down A.
deal with so many angles, slow pushing like that.
Okay, much
when no
better.
one
There
is
is
checking your
literally no
six.
damage done so far.
One at the corner here.
First bit, one
Crazy
shot.
Guy actually picks himself out the operator. Wants
Oh
to challenge,
my
and they will get punished gloriously by Benkai. If he finds some opening
Okay.
here, maybe somehow, some way, there was a
Do they
world
pick
where
up the
he
op
could
in
get
time?
into
Looks
A
like
and
Omen's
activate
good
that
for it.
ultimate and then
Yeah,
put
they do.
himself in a 2v1 manageable situation. Not going to happen this time. And Bleed, no need to call for those timeouts. They're adjusting on the fly here. And what looked like to have been a strong start for Global, Bleed starting to build things back up.
Very curious as to how it happens too. I mean, getting the information, just starting things off a little bit slow, but having an idea, at least a bit of a roadmap as to how Global Esports operates on this map. Now they're starting to feel a little bit more confident, holding the right areas, and at the same time, I mean, just a good little bit of slicing the pie for Benkai. Now coming back into it, the off, a
Oh,
bit
they
of
can't
early
push.
aggression, but then punish right back. Crazy Guy with the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, making sure that his teammate is going to be safe. What's the 2 damage on Polvi here?
Benkai has
Benkai
taken
snuck himself
the biggest
all the way
timing.
up to A.
Viper wall
Scary
to block
unawares.
off the vision of the camera.
Egoist
Cypher
he
kind of
dare
maybe
push
commented that it could have
A-main
happened. Who
right
knows?
about now, because Benkai might not leave his ultimate.
Wait.
If Egoist can time this perfectly, nobody
Oh,
is
man.
going to be aware of. Oh, never mind. That Thrash.
Damn, Benkai's
is
owned
just
it. He
diabolical.
really
With that
owned this.
punish
Good
of
timing on
Benkai
the
onto
wall
Egoist.
going up, the camera
It's gonna be
going in, and
Darien
they
with the
just
showstopper
did
to
not
try
expect
to
it, especially
bring
after the
things
heavy
back
B
for his team.
pressure.
It starts things off with the op shot, and that does bring numbers back just by a bit.
Wingman decides to
Well,
plant
slowly
outside of
coming
the
into
ult.
mid. Ooh,
I mean,
crazy
honestly, I
guy.
don't think he could have planted
Thought he
inside.
bit off more than he can chew.
Or let him off.
This man's got.
I mean, he could have actually, I'm pretty
got
sure.
boulders
But
for days. Duryan. Does he risk himself to push here with the showstopper? Nah, it's the ROI isn't
Back
good
to
enough.
save.
okay,
Yeah.
all down to Benkai on this one.
Wanting to hold on to that operator. But I mean, still, thinking about how the round plays out, it's a lot of weird, like, individual fights. Darien with a nice attempt to try to deter them away from B at the very least. But then towards the end, like you mentioned, it was really just Benkai sneaking in. I think part of it is also how the map is laid out and Bleed not really able to watch everything. Right, you've got this double controller setup, you've got Egoist on the Cypher, but it's just not quite enough to cover all the bases. There are always these tiny gaps that Benkai, for example, can use to sneak up, past alley, sneak a frag, take control over A.
That's the strength that Benkai brings to the table, right? It's his confidence, it's his timing plays that when it works, it puts you on the map. And we saw that happen when he was, well, we didn't see it, you know, come into fruition when he was trying to do that against Zeta because he was losing a lot of the fights against Lash. But
3
here,
or 4 people
we're
over
seeing
towards middle.
The polar is opposite of that, which is in benefit of Global Esports.
Okay, first time this gets shot. Do
Precisely.
they? Oh, okay. And then they kind of
Lovely to see how Global Esports are
spamming.
starting to move
We get the
these
raise
puzzle
going all
pieces,
the
make
way
them
in.
all
Does
fit together.
Benkai
First of all, you got Polvi,
expect the
who's a
push?
bit
It
of a
looks like
wild
he's
card
ready for it.
sometimes, But then Benkai, this proven
Do you
entity,
expect
and we
a
know
close
how he
angle?
works.
Nope.
know how
Benkai
he
is
hides
doing
and
great on
strikes
this
when the iron
kind
is
of
hot.
like. I mean, he is the Sentinel at the
Iron is
moment.
Definitely scalding.
He's a
here,
Sentinel.
Quack.
He's the luck. He's doing everything.
I mean, this is so different from the Global that we've seen from a couple of from yesterday's matches. They're so controlled. They're so precise. These guys have truly woken up, and I don't know if they can continue this
Austin, hello.
this
How you doing?
rampart. GE fighting truly will turn into a GE winning.
Very, very careful.
Good to see you.
And look at how they're still maneuvering across.
Fado, it's
Still
gonna hit
Benkai on
one.
the
Overwhelm.
Carefully checking corners.
Good luck to Scary
They
here.
wanna
Omen
make sure
Flash
that
is
they keep the
decent.
numbers advantage
Omen
as they
Flash is
execute it,
great.
but Scary does not let that happen.
Lightning fast, already
Okay,
down.
not bad in the
Yay
end.
and
I'm
Egoist.
pretty sure
Ooh, look at this
there
backside control.
was a recon for Ye to get that
Lightning
kill as
fast
well.
cannot get out. Shot and step. He catched up by
Okay,
Ye.
nicely
3
done. They
kills
handled
and
this one
Bleed
well.
4-6. Global
Another shout out to
Esports all
Scary
turned
here.
on their heads
Did
with a
great.
huge paranoia from Scary.
And yeah, that's exactly what it starts out. Scary. He's the guy who puts up that roadblock. Up around B, I mean, he just has that one paranoia, and it just nicely covers
Omen
the
Flash
entire
is a kill in the
team
round.
as
Yeah,
they push
he's
out. He gets away with that one
kind of
frag.
2 for 2 in
And then
terms
the
of the
rest
Omen
the
Flash
team
having
comes
mad
in at the
impact.
same time, just to prevent them from going into sight easily. There's always that little opening around
There a
market,
recon for
and
this? Yeah,
the
it's a nice
timing
recon on the
of,
tree.
Enemy
the
remaining.
dark cover was a little bit off, so a little bit unfortunate for Global Esports. They couldn't quite break through, and wow. Off of that loss, they might just be the... Oh, no, actually, it's a Bleed timeout off of their win.
Gia is known for those kind of timeouts where it's not really to recuperate his team, it's more to try building what's already slowly built by the team with these rounds. So with that being said, it's like he's just, again, trying to maneuver, probably figure out how to deal with Benkai's lurks. Because I think has been one of the biggest issues that they've been trying to figure out against Global here. Is just how much map control Benkai really brings to the table to his new team.
Yeah, we've seen those looks getting a little bit pesky for Bleed Esports now, but at the same time, I'm wondering what they're going to do. You got this operator, you got the
What are my
showstopper
thoughts on the
too.
Viper Ye?
Maybe a bit of early round aggression just to bring the momentum back.
I
under their
just-
control. We are
It
nearing
doesn't
the
make
end of the first
doesn't
half,
make
and
sense out
we
of all the
can
players
end
in the
this
world if you're gonna
6-6,
gonna
still have
have
an
someone
easier
on
time
in this
as we
role
swap sides.
and you're paying so much,
but
because I imagine you're
we don't
paying a
see
good
anything
amount.
too early
You
yet.
would just have him on the
Global
role
playing
that you know
things
he's good
very
at
carefully too.
and excels at, instead of
Okay, spots out the
instead of
camera
this
there
role,
very
in my
quickly
opinion.
breaks it down.
But it could be his decision, to be
Egoist
fair.
has
I've heard rumors that
placed all of his tripwires
he's wanted to play different
on
agents.
elbow here. They're much more okay with fighting A main or A link, excuse me, than elbow without any of those utilities. Where's the cages though? Does he have no money for the cages?
Not too sure, but at the very
Oh, there
least,
he
yeah,
is.
there's one up by elbow. He knows that this is a spot that Global has approached many times before and wants to counter it.
Oh, that's a huge haunt. Who's got the here's the party? That is going to be Durian dunking it in the face of Benkai.
He has to get another
And
one
this
here,
is
the
a
raise.
bloody
Keep an eye on the
take here
Omen luck.
For Bleed. Somehow manages to get in.
Lightning
Durian
fast.
throws out
Oh,
the
it's
nade.
weird.
Can he find one?
Does he
Lightning
180?
fast with the
No.
late lurk and the counter late lurk from Ye. It's 1-1, 2 versus 2. Retake will have to be done here by Bleed. But Global Esports, they've doubled up. They got a solid positioning right now. And Durian still holding this operator. Will have to wait
Higher,
for Ye
lower.
to double up with him.
And they
But
can
Ye
just hold this with the op.
runs into the side and, well, trips up face first into
Yeah, really nicely
the
played on
embracing
that
hands
one.
of Polvi, a teammate. Happens twice now.
7.
Durian and GE really commanding the
Last
rounds
round
here when they
before the
go
switch.
when they get those setups.
Especially when they get those setups. 1 second and you spot out like a foot and an arm and you're like, okay, there's more than one person here. I could have fired off a shot, but
Blaze King's
definitely not
doing
gonna be enough to win out the
A
round.
lot of work.
So it's a little bit
A
odd
lot
for
of
Ye to
work.
swing out like that. I don't
His
know if it's
util's
like
been
a
really
little
good
bit
as well.
of miscommunication, but at
And
the
he's
very
fragging heavy.
least, you can say with absolute certainty, Global
Okay, last
Esports
round.
are fighting.
We get the op back out again.
I love how you just said that. GE fighting. As of course the fans have been clamoring every single time we've seen it on social media. Always giving their beloved
wait.
team that support.
Oh, he's a
Polvi's the one
lunatic.
Right now with the showstopper.
Wait.
How does the not connect?
What?
On Ye, on the corner. Doesn't matter. Still gets the kill. Man is on a tear here. Global Esports.
Polvi's
wanna make
actually a
statement to end this
lunatic,
first
by
half
the way.
if they can.
While
have
the
to be
Viper ult
very
was
careful
up,
as
he went
they
and
know
got the
that
orb,
Bleed
actually
still
manages
has
to
working
get it as
pieces.
well,
They've
and
only
then
found
kill
Ye.
Ye.
They haven't got Durian yet,
That's
who has
that's
been
insanity.
such a thorn with this operator. They're making a lot of noise here on mid side right now, Quack, but they're coming back to A. Where
Oh, hit the
Durian
wall, I guess, in
seems
front.
To be prepared, but is he?
Oh, we
truly?
got no util for
Yeah,
this
I don't know
because
how he
Fade's
can
dead.
escape with this one. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't
what
need to
happens.
escape, man. He
Good
only
trade at
needs to
least.
thrive, and he gets the collateral.
Does lightning
Polvi does
fast.
shut him down very quickly.
No,
Damage be done.
I was gonna say, would have
Has
been a
to
little
pick
bit
up
bold
the
to
spike, 30
TP from it.
seconds. His teammate, Lightning
Does
Fast,
create
trying to
good
get
pressure though,
that
which means that someone from A
clearance
has to
so
then
that
be
there is a
watching
lot
this,
more
which means the A side is a little bit
opportunity for
weaker.
Polvi
So
to
this
push up onto the A
2v3,
side more securely.
it has some legs.
The big problem is
Scary has his
also,
flash
just gonna put it
recon
out
though for
there,
the retake.
Does Crazy Guy have some nasty little lineup for a default plan because he's got 2 shock darts? I don't know where, I don't know how.
I kind of expect him to be able to
10
do that.
seconds
If
left.
not, at the very least, he's got the recon for his team to come in at the retake. They've got the numbers for it. But Polvi has paint shells too. I don't know if he wants to push out even further though. That's the thing, because he might get punished,
Wow.
and that's
Nice
basically
off
going to be
angle
the
from him.
round for Bleed now.
You know, I was thinking that he was going to use all of those utilities of his, but he doesn't really need to. You know why? They're not expecting him
Not
to be on
bad.
the site.
Yeah.
So him just
5?
being silent and
Might be
deadly
enough.
is already it, you know?
But that said, you know, it also kind of works out because I don't know if it's like Polvi overheating a little bit, but peeking out over the box, I guess he just didn't quite expect Crazy Guy to be on the other side.
Yeah.
So we do end the first half, you know, not with a 6-6, but a 5-7, which again
Alpha,
still isn't
what's
the
up?
worst thing in the world. That say, we shall
What's
see
up? What's up?
if this iteration of Bleed can bring them back with the pistol round. This is Global Esports' map pick after all, and they might actually have an easier time on the defense.
True, and this is the first time we're also seeing Global play this Sunset map.
Alpha, give me
not
some
mistaken.
chamber this year.
So there's still
Even
so
even if
many
you're not cracking it,
unknown factors
just
of
lock
how
it in
they've been
and just say,
truly controlling
my bad.
this.
You're
And
gonna
of
drop
course,
40 kills on it.
Another
It's
one
fine.
of those things is you will not really have
Just do it, man.
any
Just
set
one game, just for me.
coming into that second half.
The
So
Viper.
I mean, we're talking about how the Viper could play as a Sentinel, but doesn't truly play as a Sentinel.
Do it in the
So-
final. Okay.
They have to learn how to play with that, and I'm very curious to see how they will.
The biggest,
Yeah, that's
the biggest
thing, right?
match.
You know, we were talking
Respect.
about it. You don't have
I look
quite
forward
the
to it.
traps to really watch your backs or control the map, so it's a little bit iffy sometimes. But you know, on a map as big as Sunset, does feel like it could be, you know, just enough. At the same time, because you're playing on defense, you just
Yeah, it's
need
the
to
double
play
win.
really,
We could
and
see
as long
Alpha
as
dropping
Benkai
40, and I know
stays
that
hidden
Mini would
well
be
enough,
furious the
you
whole
know,
time.
Throw out those utilities to
It's a
snake bites,
win-win for everyone.
hold off for as much as possible, anchor down the sides. He should be good to go. But then again, comes down to map control and Bleed. The way that they move together on this map, they
Okay,
move as a unit.
tons of pistols.
The crazy guy committing all of his money for utility. What a total team player.
Mini would kick
Okay,
you.
so it goes on mid. He wants to check if anybody pushes up on triple with that recon
Don't do it in the
card,
final
but
then.
it
Just do it
doesn't
in
find
like
anything.
do it in the first game.
So the rest of Bleed now push up onto A side. Polvi. he almost
Okay,
got
mid control for
captivated there by
GE. They
Echo,
don't see
but
anything here as well.
decides
Loads of pressure over
otherwise.
towards A. Benkai's
Here
called
comes
them back.
Benkai.
Great stall from him.
Here's the footsteps, backs away. Bleed, they've been
Oh.
sought after, they've been
Oh.
found out, and Polvi here pulverizes Egoist. That's going to leave Bleed trapped on A main. If Polvi decides to actually push the tempo right now, and Bleed, they're taking fights that they
The
can't
Pistol
win.
Kings.
We're not done just yet, hold on.
Oh,
Benkai's around the corner here, spotted
it's
out by
fine.
Durion,
This guy
so maybe
gets
this is the fight
fades.
that
Eye
Bleed are
in
finally
4
looking
seconds as
for.
well.
But there is still so
Okay, we
much
get the reset.
to
The
unravel
problem
from
is,
Global Esports. So Bleed decides otherwise to go around
right
think
now
they're
we're
hoping to
locked
maybe
over
find
towards
Polvi.
here.
somewhere lurking. But as we can
So
see,
when they
he's
go back, they're
somewhere
going to
there
have to
on
check
top
all
of
these
A-Wing.
angles.
So they're not going to
Wingman goes in,
If they go to B,
plays a little bit of
this
this.
is where they can find themselves a chance.
30
But with
seconds
market
left.
door being
Door is
closed,
down though, so
they're
they at
gonna
least
burn a
get
bit of
early
time,
info.
waiting, checking, and then in a couple of seconds they have to rush.
And they
Either
hit
way,
at least
Global
2.
Esports
They-
holds
I'm
the
pretty sure they only
advantage,
had
and that's
2
the most
shootings,
interesting
so they
thing,
still
at
don't
least
know
for
where
this
1 is,
round.
so they kind of have to check these angles.
Although it's a full new squad, they carry on the same statistics from last year on VCT Pacific, having one of the most highest number of initial round wins
Damn.
as Blaze King takes them all
Okay.
down with a ghost.
Fair enough.
That's
Blaze
a
King is
huge,
looking
huge upset
crispy,
here
though.
For Global.
He really
5
is.
to 8. Bleed also known to make those aggressive force buys. So we're going to see that for Bleed here. And of
0-2.
course, the best weapon against that.
2-0 for the Pistols.
Colby might pick up. Ah, there it is. Outlaw.
Just a bit of a weird thing, you know. Global Esports hasn't really called any timeouts yet. Bleed maybe called one after a round win, and with the way that they're pushing up so slowly,
Enemy remaining.
when you got players like Blaze King, Polvi on the other side, the slight micro timings with the way that they peek out all of a sudden, sometimes Bleed just doesn't quite expect it. So it's a bit of revenge for Blaze King as well, right? Because this, you know, was him playing on Boom Esports.
Yeah, I like this
versus
from GE
Bleed
though.
in
We get the
Ascension
smoke
last
in,
year.
Prowler goes down.
Now finding his win with a new team, new roster on
3
Global Esports.
Spectres,
You're
1
absolutely
Outlaw.
right. It means, and here's the thing, Bleed
The
also
Outlaw was farming earlier.
coming
This
off of
Seiken
that
got like
high
what?
with the pickup on
13,
Ye,
15
but
kills on it?
It feels like Ye is so out of his element
Same
here,
map.
whether it's because he's on a new team or he's on a role that he's not really truly familiar with. You can see him struggling. We were showing that scoreboard. He's at the bottom for Bleed as of this point. So you do see the struggles that Bleed are having to face, and Global are just eating that up. Oh, this wall. If it drops, Lightning Fast got a chance. Blaze King first on contact.
Blaze King,
has
good
seized,
Omen Flash, got
locks
2 of
up
them.
Into the prison. If he pushes out, well, he doesn't need to.
Lovely
Lightning Fast
Seize
right
as
there
well.
with him.
Minus 80
That's
to
gonna
all of
be
those
a quick
players.
Cleanup here for
Yeah,
Global.
just the body shots coming
They
in.
are terrifying on this control. It's not fast, but it's a slow burn here, and it is scorching Bleed little by little.
I don't know what Bleed needs, but they've got to kind of like cauterize the wound or something, right? Because right now,
Outlaw
as
is
it
so
goes
OP in
on,
bonus
we're
rounds.
starting to
Yeah,
lose out
I'm not.
different rounds.
In terms of the
They get
actual
the
gun,
buy
I
back
think
up
it
in
is.
full
First of all, I
this
think
time,
it's
but
strong. I'm not
the
sure it
momentum
actually has a
definitely
good
on the side of
impact in the
Global
game because I
Esports.
just
They're
think it.
toying with them so much,
We
controlling
just see
around the
teams maybe like snowball.
map,
You're more
and,
likely to snowball
again,
now.
you've got Polvi
And
on
I mean
this
that was pretty
Outlaw, and
common
the
anyway.
amount of damage that they could
But it just
potentially
feels like
put
you
out
can
is dead.
snowball that a
However,
little
in
bit
this
easier
round,
with it.
It is a Bleed with full armor, full utility.
Because this buy is
Let's see
always a
what they
little
can
bit
do.
better now.
Again, it's one of those games where it
So I'm
doesn't
not sure it's
feel like
actually
there's
overall
anything
good for the game,
explosive that's
but-
happening, but it is by design. Global Esports are playing at such a pace that I feel like Bleed can't really read them in this situation, even if Bleed has that.
Okay,
capability
halfway to the
be able
Razor,
do
massive buy run for Bleed. Like we said, bonus for
Yeah, no,
GE.
it's kind of like feels really slow at times, but then there are these tiny little moments where Global Esports just accelerates just by a little bit.
Yeah.
And right now, towards market, you've got a little bit of vision from Russ as well. They might have heard something towards B main, but that's
Smoke up
about
as well.
it. So the rotation's coming over. They don't see anything.
He spot him.
Might be lightning fast. Yeah, getting the call
Yeah,
over.
double
Toxic
rotate
screen
coming
at the
in.
very least is
Everyone.
hell.
Everyone was
Now
rotating.
rotation's coming over.
And he
as long
still
as
has
lightning
Omen
fast
Flash and a
boosts up,
smoke to
he still has
delay.
that paranoia
And they have a
available.
bit of the wall as
Base
well.
King as well with a haunt for info.
Oh, I'm worried for Bleed here.
I was actually just
There's
about
too
to
much
point that out.
util, right?
How much statistic do we have?
Lightning
of how
Fast still
effective
has
these
his
taunts have been? Because it's been giving away so much positioning right now. Look at Durion just dodging into the site itself. Like Fast's not going to be able to escape that
Oh,
time.
the short
Explosion for
TP.
Bleed is here. Oh, that is a huge mosh pit.
Not like that, boss
That
man.
blinds everybody. Yay, just frantically spraying it down. Polvi picks himself up. A Spectre pushes
Oh,
up. Scary's on
dude.
top of that case.
I
That's
watched
gonna
that
be
one
Bleed
back and I'm
6
like,
to
how on
9.
earth would they...
What a very messy
How on
fight,
earth did
but
they lose that?
Bleed comes out on top at least for
I think
now.
Bleed got a little bit lucky here. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
to you.
not being able to buy back up in full might
Good
hurt
damage
them
though.
a little.
It is good
But you can
damage.
see it's a slightly
people
better
can't
take,
buy
a
next if
slightly
Bleed
better
lose.
approach towards the site. You know, being able to pull the attention back and forth. Despite Global Esports having a good read on things, the way that Bleed comes in, you've got Darion and then Scary to find the trades. They make sure that they can control the site safe enough. But again, that's just how Bleed operates. Everything so far in this entire map has been safe for both sides.
Polvi, though, pushed very far forward into the front of his opponents. His teammate giving him some leeway to pick up that orb and back away into A main. If he decides to push up, maybe he can find something, but it seems like Polvi might have overheated a little bit here, jiggling a little bit too much, and Crazy Guy capitalizing. And it's as easy as that now.
I like their
the
reaction,
rest
though,
of
over
Global
towards
pushing
middle.
up on mid could
Ye
put
can have a
pinch
lot of impact
on
in this
the
round.
late lurking
Here's the
Ye,
running.
but
Ye
the
has
site
good
should be
timing.
theirs.
Does
Never
he expect
mind,
this guy
Ye
bottom
turns
and
it
middle?
back,
No,
and
so
now
Ye
he's
goes
got
down,
that
I
late
imagine.
lurk that GE will have to deal with.
And then this
And
guy
it's
on
steal upon
site
Neil. All right, we're not
has
done
to
just yet. It's
somehow-
fine. We're charging in. Bad guy's huge. He gets another
Oh,
one.
that's
We'll get shut
close.
down by
11
Egoist.
HP. I thought he almost did
As dust
it.
settles, who's getting the advantage
Oh, it's
right
a sick
now?
Omen Flash.
Feels like it's Bleed. Should be. They are pushing lightning fast.
One enemy.
24
But the
HP.
punches and the quick trades for
Damn, no,
Global
they
Esports
comboed really
are
well.
just too
Omen
damn fast, and
Flash.
Bleed can't keep
Omen
up.
Flash into the
Blaze
Fade
King
Eye,
approaches from
and then
behind.
Lightning
Yeah,
Fast
it's
just did so much
Too
damage
much
that Blaze
going
King
on in the
kind of
round,
just cleaned this one up.
Although Ye got some good picks early on, again, with how big the map
And
is, Bleed
chat,
loving to move together as
After
a
winning
unit,
the round,
they
1-9 loss
relinquish
bonus,
a
we
little
got a
bit
few
more map
players
control
going up
towards,
to
you know, the back
2,300.
side.
They are wrecked
Unless Scary
money-wise.
can really block things off with his smokes,
Viper down.
it sometimes just doesn't really work out all too well, and they need a little bit more fragging power right now. You got Crazy Guy who's always there to support. You've got Darion who tries to rush in, but then apart from that, no one else is really there to help Darion follow up. So the site kind of falls
What
apart.
teams
as
have
soon as
surprised
they
me
make
the
their way
most
in.
so far?
6-10 now will
Genji,
be the score, and it's going
probably
to be a
Talon.
lead that has to save.
To be honest, Talon look good.
So I don't know about you, Asteroid, but this map is starting to look like it's almost
then-
over.
Every single team in Americas.
I
Literally every single
I
team in
feel like I was
Americas.
about to say, never say never, as is, of course, by my favorite movie, Karate Kid with Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith. Anyways,
And Justin Bieber.
and Justin Bieber again. Yeah.
Lovely shot.
Durion, though, 6 shot on mid here, but the thing is with Global Esports, right, is if you strike us, cut one head down, 2 will take its place. They are so quick at just reacting to the stimuli that Bleed is dishing out. And this hasn't been Bleed's strongest
Oh, Ye saw him, right?
contact at all. You can find something maybe for Ye here. Okay,
This
never.
is the time.
As soon as I say
This
that,
would be the
Ye
round.
does something
Blaze
like
King has
this.
his
And
ult.
this makes it somewhat doable. You're absolutely right. El Diablo.
Okay, they could
eating
time this
things
well,
up, right?
especially with the spam over
Can
towards
they
here.
exercise him out of the sight?
Mark two.
As the
Yeah,
Nightfall
small
used
chance to
very,
spam, and once they go
very
minus 80,
haphazardly.
could still do this as well with
No
the C's.
follow-up just to
Spam on
scare
top.
them, but the pit making it very difficult to them to push over. What is happening here? Egoist, he just pops a couple of those shots. He can't
Wow,
find
okay.
nobody,
And then he was
Lightning
just
Fast
making
by
sound the
Zay,
whole
locked in a
time.
2 versus
Lightning
1.
Fast just walked the whole way around as Ye
What?
decided
A
to
little bit awkward for Egoist
try
in
and
that
check
moment.
over towards the right.
Coming out of the Viper's pit, I mean,
So
you can
it
see
was
the
a
idea
nice,
that he
it was a
had.
nice
He's
try
already
from
been
Ye to make this
spotted
one doable.
inside
It's actually a
as,
massive win for
Global
GE
Esports
because they get
pushed
the
us
Viper
into
out
the
of them.
pit. So he tried to do what he could, but just without the firepower, I guess. Kind of whiffing some shots, and Ye at the same time separated away from him. I mean, Ye needed to stay in the pit to keep it up, right? So
Yeah.
Global Esports just knowing how to make it work, having that much more confidence to go in for some of these duels. They were decisive, they took things apart, and yeah, although it was a bit of glimmer of hope from star power of Ye, it's still not quite enough to bring Bleed to a decisive win.
Speaking of not going to be enough. Oh, hold on. Holby's in trouble here. He decides to go on the other direction that might have been incorrect for him. Russ has pocketed himself
Oh.
onto the corner in the IGL,
Oh.
not falling behind.
Might get
Let's go.
another.
Oh, what a
Oh
good
my
throw
god, he got
three
another.
from Lightning Fast
Oh
and
man,
Russ.
it's done, chat.
Egoist now alone.
It's actually done.
Polvy might not have gotten any kills, but his teammates sure made use of the push outside of mid that he has just done. Neural Theft activated. That's going to expose the positioning. Spike not in
No
the hands
Spike.
of Egoist here, though. And he is looking for a kill rather than pick up the Spike first because he does, even though he's exposed his opponents, he does not have the map control to really take advantage of that.
I have retrieved
Well, let's
the
think
spike.
about this, right? You got 50 seconds left. You got full armor. You've got a rifle. It's not entirely impossible. So he could go in for the spike plant first, but then where do you go after that? You know the full force and might of Global Esports. At least the last 3 players
They are
definitely
very
gonna come
far
after
away.
you. Russ has the Thrasher.
Yeah,
Stay
Russ
in
is
a
just gonna
spot
ult.
that's, you know, well concealed enough that Russ can't find
Especially,
you.
I think it's so fine to ult on this.
Market is away.
I don't
maybe
think he
you
needs
sneak
to,
back
but
out
if he does,
via
I get
top
it.
Mid, come back in with a big flank. That is an idea, but Bankai is watching the back.
Oh. Oh my
No
God.
way.
No! Russ actually found him, showing what it means. Yeah, there it is.
Well,
I mean, whether it's by
he took a
sheer
gamble.
intuition or because the
Probably.
trash was running out,
That's outrageous,
he
man.
found him, dude. He found him.
Probably buy a lottery
Does
ticket as
not
well,
feel
dude.
good as Egoist. Like he was
Insane.
preparing himself for
Nah.
3v1.
Egoist is not having a good day. I mean, the whip from earlier on, and then now getting hit by the Thrasher like
I
this.
rusted
Egoist
so
just
well here, though. Like, honestly, what a round
does
from
not
him. Good.
feel good.
Especially when he
But
hit the Omen Flash
On the other
insta
side,
flash.
Global Esports, the
There's
way
just
that they're coming out
both
on
of them
this,
trying to
First of all, I mean, the
spray each other blind, I imagine.
Well timed.
6 chances to close this one out. Double pistol. But even in the buy rounds, it feels like
This
it's
is the Global Esports that
been going good.
knows exactly how to operate, how to move.
This is what they wanted to show us on that first day, on their debut match as well, with this brandishing new roster, right? And there we go.
I think like the most impressive thing right now, or at least in that round, you know, Polvy always like kind of wild sometimes. This Finnish duelist rushes out, dies on his own, he gets information.
Yeah.
Apart from that, Russ and Lightning Fast getting those sprays, that was something else. That truly brought the round back for them.
And this is what I've been telling the desk as well when I was with him, as you know, a day ago or so, is Lightning Fast has been not put in a position where he can really shine. And now, with, I mean, him still being on the controller, sure, but he's now put into situations where he can be put into spots where he can actually try to do something else.
6
Whereas
chances.
He's been sick at it. I mean, he's 9-10-3, but those are
And,
impact
I mean, they don't
frags
have the
that
ults
he's
yet.
been doing.
So this might get a little bit
I
lower.
completely forgot too. Blaze King actually leading the kill feed because he's picking up a lot of pistol kills.
I like this from GE, though.
some
They're up
nice
against a
cleanups
lot of
as
ults,
well.
and they decide to
Now
go
back
aggro.
into
This
it,
is a good
last
call.
ninja
That's a
effort
sick
from
Omen
Bleed.
Flash.
It's gonna be a bit of
Honestly, that was a
contact
nice
play
that was a
to
nice idea,
Maybe.
though.
They're just running it down.
Yeah, it might have backfired a little bit, but
I mean,
I actually like the
everybody
idea.
from Bleed was shot by the paranoia of Lightning Fast. Lightning Fast, though, holding inside his own smoke. That's about to dissipate pretty soon here as he pushes out and covers the entirety of the Bleed conspiracy on B main. Double satchel from Turion. Man is clean.
Everyone?
Benkai's by his lonesome.
Hey,
That's
everyone
going to
survives.
be a quick,
And
clean
the
round
good
for
news
Bleed
is
here.
they didn't have to use
Not
any
the
ult for
world
it.
just yet. They got 5 rounds. If they can survive it, they can push
6
it to
down to
overtime.
5.
But of course, GE always fighting.
Make this bigger.
Always, always. But of course, think about how that round turns out. I mean, it started from a timeout. Perhaps Legia just kind of anticipated such a push and having the players positioned right outside B main.
Would you say this
enabled
is a
them to
different
go for
GE from yesterday?
such a fight.
Very map dependent, because if
Well,
this
they
was
opt
bind
for
again,
Global Esports, you know,
like
the
it's
last final rounds to really
they
go
look
for
way better on
play
this map,
such as that,
for sure.
But
But in
whatever it
terms
is
of like a
puts
different
Bleed out
team,
on
it's like
top.
map dependent.
And resets their economy
You gotta
too.
always bear in mind the maps.
Durion
But they definitely look good on this map.
committing their ultimates here, Quack. Very much so everything. I mean,
Big duel at spawn.
you know, if you can secure the rounds, might as well. Polvi, is he gonna stab him?
Oh no.
Ah!
Oh no.
He still gets it. I'm losing my mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
Did you
so
see his
sorry.
face?
I thought crazy guy just at the nick of time,
Oh,
right? And then Polvi
man.
just panics a little bit, brings out the classic, hits the alternate fire, tap burst. Sure, let's go with that.
Enemy remaining.
What is happening? The timings have
That's
been
so funny.
wacky this
But he did
round,
send a
but
message, though.
somehow, some way,
6 down to
Bleed
4.
clears it up.
And
Very
maybe this would be a
wacky
good time
all
for a
across the
timeout. 4
board.
rounds still. Don't want to let
But
this one
again,
slip.
It starts off with Darian and that commit with a showstopper into
Good news
Elbow.
for Bleed.
It kind
No,
of
good news for
throws things in
GE
a
is
bit
that
of a
they
loop,
use
and then
ults.
Maybe, you know, some positioning coming through with Polvi trying to sneak up behind. But nonetheless, once Bleed gains control over site, you know, I mean, once they know exactly what's about to happen, they're able to kind of come in and put themselves in a position to shoot things down and, you know, maybe kind of keeping spirits up. Still got 4 more rounds to go, but you're very much in the game.
Oh, and they
You got
hear
Polvi
a
on an
rifle
up
here.
now, though, and
Drone
see what the idea is behind it.
does it.
It is to get kills with the sniper.
Oh.
That is the idea.
Oh.
But the idea will not be turned
Oh.
into a reality, as it's been pretty much snuffed out by Crazy Guy here. Benkai's hoping that they might push a bit forward here. Heroics from the sub-IGL, as I probably would call it. Anyways, Bleed,
He was
clean
so
on the
ready
tank.
for
They
it.
just waited a couple of seconds, able to get one. Blaze King trying to hold the back of the side, but will lose control instantaneously. And the rest here of Global Esports trying to brute force their way. It might work,
Okay.
but Bleed have
We've-
been too clean.
the 6
with
has
this
gone
trade
down
game
to
for the past
3.
couple of rounds now. And Global
Is
Esports
there
back
a
again to the
timeout
drawing
coming in?
board. They're
Yeah.
starting to lose
Okay, there we
control
go.
here. 3
But
rounds.
gave them
a
enough
while ago might have
chances
seemed
to try and
impossible,
close it out
but with
themselves.
how they've
Now
been approaching
getting
here,
involved a
Quack,
little
it
bit.
looks pretty doable
Definitely
from
the duels over
Employees
towards B
team.
main if we consider the last like 3 rounds haven't been
the
working
reads are
too well.
starting to feel a little bit off from both sides. Bleed starting things out not too great, but then now starting to get an idea for how Global Esports wants to play. I mean, going for that aggressive peek up on B. Polvi, that's what that op was for, but Bleed knew exactly how to counter that, right? That's why they kind of played around a little bit more slowly. So getting these wins now, slowly coming back into the game once they get control of the sites, that's the name of the game. Global Esports calls the timeout. And again, they are sitting at map point as long as they kind of play it safe. You know, maybe they don't want to allow for Bleed to execute.
This GE's first time out,
But
yeah. I
as
mean, they
long
haven't
as
needed
you know,
to. They've
perhaps
always
going
been
for a bit of a retake.
always
All it takes
been
is just
having
one
good
round
starts
to
into
bring
the
them
halves
over
as
that
well.
finishing line.
I'd also just add that even though we are seeing the max loss bonus,
Yeah, I imagine we
for
see them take
Global, right, give them a lot more
the
money
foot
to
off the
utilize.
pedal in terms of the aggression, especially over
Their
towards B main.
composition's damn expensive, especially with how they've been buying the operator for Polvi. That's going to reset their economy somewhat here. In any case, though, I mean, just one wrong step for Bleed, and that's it for game 1. Polvi,
They say that,
is he going to double
but we're
satchel
going
once
aggro middle.
again? I wanna see
At
what
least
he
it's
does
not
on
B main
mid,
this
though.
time.
Oh, okay, timer's still going. I thought it was like a tech pause. My brain's just slow. No, they're just slow
3-person
pushing
walk
on top
down
mid.
middle.
No sound done, so Bleed doesn't know this. There could be a huge flank coming in, but all
Might
the
work
members of
out pretty
Bleed
well,
are
to
just
be honest, because
stacked
if you're
outside
Bleed,
B.
you're
If there's
thinking,
any
man, they're
kind
not
of
going to go
noise that they
aggro
do
again.
on mid, or Bleed just decides
But this
to go
time they're
B,
fast
there would be
behind. The
no
thing is, this
resistance
camera
whatsoever
can
here
check,
I mean,
from
and they do
GE.
have a
This
trip.
is what I meant, right? You got the timeout. All you need is one round. As soon as they, play along with the numbers advantage.
4
if they
people
can
in a
come for
pretty good
big flank,
position
a
and
big
no plant.
retake, Bleed might not be able to hold off against it. So now Polvi back into his market. They got more lines of sight.
Benkai's gotten the first kill. Step in the right direction right now for Global Esports. Oh, no.
Oh,
Wing
whoa.
at Dizzy makes Egoist
Guy's on
sad,
aim labs.
sad boy. 3 more players here for Bleed. Global Esports coming back alive. Yay and Scary. Controllers a miss. They will try to do their
That should be
darndest to
it.
stop the defuse from coming in, but it will not be
Yeah,
denied.
we have a
Ye's
molly
on
here.
the last legs.
Double molly, so they can't defuse yet.
No one's still defusing it right now.
Okay, mollies are done.
Okay, there we go. They just try to spray through
Okay.
the Viper's pit,
Not
but it's
bad
gonna
at all.
get DE9, and Global Esports finally find that one play.
First map.
Secured his first map in this elimination
Double pistol
series.
helps, but
12
overall
to
it didn't look
9.
too bad
I
at
mean,
all.
what a great start from Global Esports. They won both pistols.